Hello and welcome to this cryptocurrency technical analysis where we are going to be going into the Bitcoin chart here and going over the really important question of, is Bitcoin about to breach $50,000 or could we be seeing another fake out on the Bitcoin chart to bring us down to lower prices? So with the order of proceedings is we're going to start off with Bitcoin and then I want to cover Ethereum USD. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, the video yesterday was really well received. And off the back of that video, we had about 200 direct messages over on Instagram of so many questions. Really good questions. I did like them, but we had received the same question a lot. So I have to cover Ethereum USD in this video. It was so highly requested. So yeah, that's what we'll be going through. I want to start off here with the Bitcoin chart for the first probably 5-10 minutes, and then we'll go over to Ethereum at the end of the video to basically cover the question that everybody's asking right now. So that's the order of proceedings: Bitcoin and then Ethereum. So hope that you thoroughly enjoy, and let's start off here then with Bitcoin. Bitcoin. I mean, a few things to bear in mind, in my opinion. Okay, well, firstly, we're on the weekends. Generally speaking, your larger traders are going to not trade the weekend. You have to remember the CME futures market is closed. You're generally expecting your institutional traders to take the weekend off. And this is obviously highly evident by just looking at the volume. You know, statistically speaking, the volume on the weekend significantly drops off. So this is something to bear in mind. So what does it mean if the volume is really low on the weekend? Well, it means you still obviously do have whales in the market that will trade the weekend. It's just you don't have as many of them. So what we mean by this is the order books are going to be significantly thinner. And I know this is maybe a little bit high level for too many people, but just bear with me a second. Basically, if the order books are thinner, it requires less volume to push price. So what this means is let's say for a $100 move on a weekday, it's going to take, let's just say, $1 billion. During the weekend, that same percentage move could only take $500,000. Let's just say, for example. So you can basically, what we're saying here is on the weekend, it requires less money to move price. So there's obviously a few things to bear in mind with your thin order books, and that is you do have a higher chance of a higher percentage move, but then you also have a higher percentage move of that being a fake out. Because if the volume is, if the move is not sustained by higher volume, generally speaking, one would view that as high likelihood to be a fake out. So what does that actually mean for the Bitcoin chart right now? Well, that, in my opinion, this means that we are consolidating under $50,000, but unless we start to get those volume injections to push us through and sustain above $50,000, I personally would be cautious. Let's just say that I'd personally be cautious because you do have the high likelihood of a fake out if that volume does not sustain you, and obviously would bring you, if that is the case and we get a fake out, and this obviously could be a fake out just simply after this morning's swing failure pattern or a breach of $50,000 before coming back down. It would obviously bring you back down to your $47,000 support. That now is really crucial support. So you have that first 48,500, which was resistance, which one would say is going to be a support. And then below you obviously have that $47,000. Or the alternate scenario, which I personally feel is a little less likely today, but obviously one has to be prepared for it. And that is that we just blast through $50,000. You get a massive increase in volume and you just, you're heading straight up to, $54,000, $55,000. I personally feel that's less probable today, if I'm totally honest with you. I'm under that perspective right now. Okay, if we start to get massive increases in volume through $50,000, well, then obviously, we're going to be looking for higher prices, and one is not going to short that if that's the case. I think the way that I am personally approaching this now is I'm actually really happy to take the weekend off. I'm just doing this technical analysis video for you this morning. I'm going to get changed and go out. So I am actually going to be one of those traders that is taking the weekend off. So I'm going to basically let the market show its hand to me. Rather than trying to get involved here. Well, I would say it's a bit of a 50-50 trade. Yeah, we could push up, we could push down. If I'm totally honest, I feel this is a gamble trade. If this was on a weekday, I'd probably be in here scalp trading. But as it's a weekend, I'm happy to say, I'll let the market show its hand to me. I'll get involved again when I get home tonight is when I'll trade this again, and then it will either still see this consolidation going on, or we'll either see the consolidation going on, which is in our current mini range, which is obviously just really simply on a lower term time frame here. You've obviously got your range high, well, you can see we got that swing failure pattern, got the range low there. So we'll either continue to consolidate in this range, or alternatively, we'll look to break the high of the range and then you push to $50,000. Or alternatively, we break the low of the range and then we'll be heading back down to around probably about 47,000. So that's kind of the way that one could approach this if you want to trade the weekend. Personally, I'm going to take the day off, but there's opportunities should one want to trade this, I suppose. But I personally would be a little bit cautious on the Bitcoin chart. If I'm totally honest, I would be slightly cautious here, okay, because I'm just aware of the potential of a fake out. In terms of, this is obviously for the Bybit competition that we're doing, and on this one, the way that I'm managing this is really simply, it's like, I'm just going to let this one run. Obviously, I got that really nice entry at $43,900, and this was what, 5 days ago now I got that entry. No, 3 days ago. Wow. So in 3 days, that account has increased almost by 80%. So the way that I'm going to continue to manage this one is essentially, if it pushes up, great. And if we get a fake out of this pattern, then I'm probably going to look to actually close this one and try and get a lower entry. So that's the way that I'm managing that trade for anybody that's interested. So yeah, that's kind of my overview there on the Bitcoin chart. So just for a summary of Bitcoin before we move on to Ethereum, I think that the volume is relatively low on weekends. That means thinner order books. That means the higher probability of a fake out. So that means I would remain cautious. Personally, I am taking the day off trading. I know many of my viewers aren't, and they're going to be trading this, but personally I am. And the way that I would, if I was wanting to trade this, okay, if I was wanting to trade the weekend, personally, I would wait for a lower price to buy in. Okay, if I was in no position, I personally would wait for a retracement. Or alternatively, you're going to have to see that volume increase through $50,000. And that is going to require a slight bit of skill, let's be totally honest there. But that obviously does provide a play. So yeah, my perspective on the Bitcoin chart here is very neutral. Obviously, my accounts are in swing longs, but I just do not want to buy here. I'd play it slightly more cautious and say, give me a bigger retracement, and I will come back to my computer and buy. But if not, I'm not going to be trading this today. So that's kind of my perspective. Hopefully, it's given you a bit of insights of how you can look to trade this, what to be aware of, and those key, clearly 50,000, just psychological 50,000 is your big resistance right now. You break that, well, if you break 50,000 with a volume increase, yeah, you can see another $3,000-$4,000 increase very quickly. Alternatively, you can just continue to consolidate here. If you start to lose your first low here, then you can obviously look back down towards your bigger support levels of the current range that you are in. So yeah, I feel that this is very neutral, and one can approach this in a relatively easy way today. But yeah, then I want to cover Ethereum. So Ethereum yesterday was like, I had so many questions on ETH. It was absolutely crazy. It really was. Before I cover Ethereum, I just want to make you aware that although I'm taking the day off, I will be back tonight. So this is obviously for the Champions live stream. So in the Champions live stream, which is in, well, it's 11:30 now. I do these at 7:30 at night. If you are looking for, basically in the Champions live stream, what I do is I delete all of my technical analysis. So I will start my chart from scratch, delete everything, build up all of my technical analysis, and then from you watching me and learning basically from me doing my technical analysis, I'll end with a plan. That plan will include basically a setup. This is obviously the one that we done last week, which was ending recognizing for a long position. We kind of go over where is a nice entry based off of the support that we have. So if you're interested in that, that's another live stream that I got tonight for the Champions, where I will be going over my next trading plan for Bitcoin. So if you're interested in that, that's what I got going on tonight, where I'll obviously be back again. But yeah, to move over now to Ethereum. Wow. The comments on Ethereum were absolutely crazy, and I loved it. I honestly love you all so much. But a lot of people were like super super impressed about that call that I gave, and I want to give the education of how I actually came to this, because I think a lot of people were just like, that's magic. So for the people that aren't aware or didn't watch yesterday's video, we were referring to the prediction that I made where we had a pitchfork back on the 11th of February, so 3 days ago. And I was saying the low of the pitchfork and then the high of the pitchfork, but then how that also, adds in time to the perspective of this and then what's going to be happening next. So let me just play the clip for you really quickly. It only takes 5 seconds, so you just can hear what I was saying. And that's my opinion on Ethereum, and probably I'd say your next target, the upside 1,880, support there coming in around 1,740. So really simply what you heard me saying there was we have the support 1,740 and the resistance 1,880. And what actually, from that prediction that I made there, well, this is obviously how it played out. We put in the low 1,741 and we put in the high 1,877. So literally where I called the low, we hit the low within 0.06%, and then the high, we hit the high within 0.15%. So that prediction, well, was obviously extremely accurate. And actually on Bybit, we hit a high of $1,882. So it did hit on Bybit as well. But a lot of people were like, wow, that prediction was absolutely insane. How you called the low and the high of Ethereum before it happened. How did you do that? And I recognized, yeah, that's a brilliant question. And this is why I was spammed so highly with it. And the way that I'm looking at this is, firstly, we have a pitchfork, but the pitchfork did not help me determine where the low and high was going to be with the precision of the dollar amount. The way that I was approaching this was actually, as I kind of answered this in the champions section yesterday, it's actually to do with Fibonacci time. So Fibonacci time is a really useful tool that helps you determine your entries and exits of the market. So really what Fibonacci time is going to give you is, like many people, they're going to be like, maybe they're bullish on Ethereum, but imagine that they longed too early. So you could have been in the, you could have longed here on Ethereum and then got stopped out here. And then, yeah, you got the direction right, which was a move up. But if you long too early, you get stopped out before the move happens. Okay, so Fibonacci time is basically to aid you in getting a entry, not entering and then getting stopped out and then seeing yourself like, oh, wow, I got the direction right, but I entered too early. And so Fibonacci time is looking at the correlations between moves. So if you've got like A, B, C, D patterns, then what you're looking for is the length of A to be mimicked to C, and A, B, C, D patterns, A, B. Let's just draw this out really quickly. Okay, so you're going to be looking for the length of your B to be in correlation with the length of your CD. So AB equals CD. Sorry, these letters sometimes confuse me even. So yeah, that's basically the way that you're looking at this. So if you're looking for your retracement here before a move to the upside, then you're going to be looking at your correlations between the low of the pitchfork and where it hit the medium line. And that's how I was able to determine in terms of time to give me the low there of 1,740 based off the correlation that I previously seen within the ABCD. And that's how I was able to get basically the high correct. It's basically looking at your patterns and then the correlations between those moves. Really, it's not actually that difficult, but it's obviously extremely useful because it's going to save you time and time again, like entering moves too early only to get stopped out. And then you're going to be saying to yourself like, oh man, I actually got the direction right. And if I didn't have such a tight stop loss, well, the time aspect is obviously to aid you recognizing when, not only when where price is likely to go, and that was obviously by the pitchfork, we were able to determine the exact low of the move, but then also determining the exact high of the move. Well, that's why we use Fibonacci time, to give you that time and price coming together. And when you have time and price coming together, well, that's when you can do predictions like that, literally with the low within 0.6%, high within 0.15%. Fibonacci time. I've said it time and time again. Like this guy says, Ethereum literally reversed where Daniel said, where he thought it was going to be. Another amazing call. How did I make that call? It was using Fibonacci time, and honestly, it's one of my favorite tools. I absolutely love Fibonacci time. Obviously, it's more helpful when you're going sideways in these corrective pieces, and that's what Ethereum has been doing. It's been going sideways, hasn't it? So yeah, that's what basically what I bring to your attention. And to be fair, looking at Ethereum still here, we know we still actually have this grinding of the lower of the pitchfork. So Ethereum, I mean, yeah, it's actually holding support really well. And, we have not really lost the low of the pitchfork here. So we kind of went down through it yesterday where we were speaking about this and then the potential of 1,740 again. But really, we come back above and it's just been grinding up, the same as Bitcoin. I would have been happy to, add to my long positions if we got lower. Didn't actually get lower, and it's pushed up again. So naturally, that's going to affect Ethereum USD. So yeah, going back to Ethereum to give you a summary of Ethereum, that's basically how I was able to predict the lows and highs using fib time and the pitchfork. And then in terms of, well, your next, your resistance is still exactly the same, 1,880 here on Ethereum, and your support, in my opinion, is still 1,740. And you have a very choppy range between this. It's a pretty choppy range between it. It's not offering the best trades. Like I say on Bitcoin, yeah, you can jump in and trade Bitcoin right now. You can jump in and trade Ethereum right now. But a way that I like to do is I like to remain patient. And yes, by remaining patient, you are going to miss some moves. That's just the thing. If you're deciding to stay out of the market and waiting for a really, really nice trade, sometimes 100% you are going to miss moves. But what you're going to do by remaining patient, by remaining for high probability setups, you're going to take a lot less losses, and you're going to be preserving your capital. And if you are a trader that is in this for the long term, which I hope my viewers are, then you got to remind yourself there is an opportunity every single day in trading. So you got to hold yourself back from taking really low probability trades. Yes, you can get winning trades when they're low probabilities, and one could say maybe it's a bit of luck. But if you want to sustain yourself over the long term and you want consistency over time, then you got to take those high probability trades. You got to wait for those really good setups. And yes, maybe you miss a few setups, but then when you get that one really nice trade and it pays like a year's worth of wages, it pays your missing trades. That's my perspective. I'd prefer to take one really, really, really nice trade that pays really well, and then essentially miss out on some of the choppy action. And then I'm okay with that, to be honest with you. But yeah, there we go then. So that is my summary of the Bitcoin chart. That's my summary of the Ethereum chart. Still basically within the pitchfork. Nothing's changed on this. So I'll give you the pivots one more time. That's the pivot low on the 7th of Feb, that's the pivot high on the 9th of Feb, and that's the pivot low then again on the 10th. That's the pitchfork that I really like. So yeah, that's basically still how I would manage Ethereum trades. That's how I would approach Bitcoin if I was interested in trading this anymore today. But I'm going to head out now, and I'll be back tonight for the Champions live stream. Should you be interested in knowing my next Bitcoin trading plan, where we'll start that chart with scratch, giving you the education and then giving you a little setup at the end. And I suppose if you want to learn about things like Fibonacci time, how to draw your pitchforks, why you use shift over original, for example, then that's education that we also give over at chartchampions.com, should you be interested. If you are interested in that, you can go and study all the material now, and I'll see you in the live stream tonight. If you're not here, if you're not interested and you're just here for the free stuff, then it's absolutely fine. And I hope everybody has a brilliant Valentine's Day. Spend it with your loved ones, at least I hope. Bitcoin's still going to be here tomorrow. But if you just want to trade Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is the love of your life, it really is mine, to be honest with you. But I have to take it off. So I'll see you this evening. And yeah, everyone else, have a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant day. I love you all so much. Thank you, and have a good day. Bye.